Welcome to Herself, a space for women to have deep conversations about the intersection between spiritual entrepreneurship and fulfilling your potential, so you can become the woman you truly are in every area of your life. After being in business for over 2 decades, I've learned, as you likely have too, that as you grow your business grows you in unexpected, often challenging, yet miraculous ways. Here, we'll talk about how to get out of your own way so you can grow a business that's abundant and sustainable while allowing you to be a force for good in the world. I'll give you simple, actionable strategies as well as wisdom and inspiration to help you root into your wholeness, lead from your values, and work in ways that feel deeply aligned so you can bring your true self into the world through your business and in every area of your life. In my 25 years of being in business, the biggest aspect of my professional life that has needed a lot of healing, reprogramming, and re-education, or even just, not even just re-education, but just basic education, has been my relationship with money. And the same is true for every woman that I've offered business mentoring to. Now, I know this isn't unique to just me and to the women in this community. It's ubiquitous to women everywhere. So why is that? Well, I can tell you why it isn't first. It isn't because we're bad with money. It isn't because we're not good at doing business. It isn't because we're not smart. It isn't because we're unworthy. It isn't because we're imposters and don't really know what we're doing. It isn't because we need more certifications and more credentials. So, do you know why it's this way then? Well, if we go all the way to the root, all the way to the source of our wound around money and business, it leads us to, drumroll, the witch wound. But first, let's talk about that word witch, because we all have baggage around it. So I invite us to reframe the word witch to return it to its original context, which is that a witch is a powerful female healer. So if a witch is a powerful female healer, then what is the witch wound? It's a wound that impacts powerful female healers. It's an inherited collective trauma whose roots go back to the times when the patriarchy was taking root, when tens of thousands of innocent women and men were imprisoned, they were tortured, they were executed by being hanged, drowned, beheaded, burned. And those who were accused of being witches and escaped execution, they were exiled from their communities, from their homes. They were stripped of their status and they were pushed out of their vocations. So many of these victims, they were healers, they were midwives, they were wise women and men, and they were spiritual leaders who served their communities. And others were simply individuals who were too old, too rich, too poor, too beautiful, too ugly, too outspoken, too something or other. They were told that they were too much and they couldn't be part of regular society. And this collective trauma from this time still lives on in our bodies through epigenetics. We carry trauma from our ancestors in our cells, in our DNA, until that trauma is healed. And that trauma keeps us from being fully present. And we can't create things from our true power if we're not fully present. So we carry still today their fear, their shame, their unworthiness, and their survival struggles in our cells. And it manifests as being afraid of being seen, of being visible, being afraid of speaking up, being afraid of making a living through our healing professions, having a lot of self-doubt, being afraid of revealing our spiritual side in our work, and above all, of stepping into our full power and brilliance and potential. So when we carry the witch wound, deeply held shame and feelings of not-enoughness can paralyze us. Even though we're conscious women and we have done a ton of inner and outer work. We have taken certification trainings. We have done a lot of business coaching. We have done a lot of therapy, a lot of meditation, a lot of yoga, a lot of spiritual work. And we think that because those things haven't worked yet is an important word. I would argue that those things are working under the surface. We heal through layers. So we think that the shame and unworthiness are our fault, or we think that this wound is from this lifetime alone. And maybe we just think it's not possible for me to get past this stuff. So yes, the shame, the unworthiness, the fear may very well also have roots in our childhoods. But I would say that they also go back much further than that. And to fully uproot these fears, we need to first fully return to their source. And their source for women, healers, spiritually oriented women, is the witch wound. So the witch wound keeps us in chronic cycles of overworking and under-earning, not feeling good enough. It keeps us in the survival struggle rather than being able to fully thrive. We know we're doing good work. We get that feedback. We can see that in ourselves. And so why is it so hard? Or it keeps us depending on others for money, believing that we don't have what it takes to thrive on our own financially. It might hold us in fear of raising our rates because we fear, like, for instance, if we're a therapist, when we fear that if we raise our rates beyond what other therapists around us are charging, that they're going to judge us, or that our clients won't pay us that much for our services. It keeps us playing safe and hiding our true selves out of fear that we're going to be judged, that we're going to be rejected, and deep down that we're going to be killed. And so when this happens, we can see that it holds us back from generating wealth, financial wealth, and other forms of wealth, because the root of wealth is the word well-being. It keeps us from total fulfillment, like a deep sense of inner wholeness and harmony with our inner selves, nourishing outer relationships, a livelihood that really feels like it compensates us well for the energy that we put into it. Beautiful surroundings, vibrant health. So it keeps us in a constant state of struggle, just trying to keep our head above water, and maybe deep down feeling like it's not possible to have inner and outer success simultaneously, because the last time that we had that, maybe we get killed for it, or we lost nearly everything for it. And maybe we believe that we can't be a powerful healer like a therapist, a wellness practitioner, a coach, or a genuine spiritual teacher or practitioner if we also make good money and if we do so through the entity of a business. So we can equate healing and spirituality with not having money and not following general business protocols. For example, like I shared just a little bit ago, like a therapist and also yoga teacher can be judgmental of a marketing plan, of raising your rates, or even calling yourself a business owner, or even studying business or studying money. You think that it's not spiritual. So what do we do? How do we heal the witch wound? If you're in a healing profession or you're a woman who considers herself to be spiritual, know that this is impacting you at a deep level. If you're feeling, if deep down you believe that money isn't spiritual, and that you're a bad person or you're selfish, if you care about making money, get curious about that. Question that. And also ask yourself, does speaking my truth feel unsafe to me? Does being who I authentically am feel scary? Do I feel like I need to keep parts of myself hidden? Do I dim my light and do I hide my gifts? Do I doubt and diminish my emotions, my body's messages, my body's needs, my intuition? Do I feel like I'm both too much and not enough for the people around me? And am I afraid to share my spiritual side, even with close friends and family? Am I in a healing or spiritual profession, chronically struggling with money? So once you get curious about it and recognize that this is impacting you at some level, then there's the opportunity to heal it. Because awareness itself is curative. Awareness is the most important first step. And then, just as many of us women alive right now are doing healing work in order to not pass it on to future generations, we are looking at that healing work more from the perspective of our personal wounds, like from birth until now. And that's amazing. We are part of the transition team here on the earth at this time to transition from times of more darkness, of unconsciousness, into more awakeness, into more health, into more wholeness. And we're doing a lot of the deep work. We're really rolling up our sleeves and doing this to help future generations. And it's time for us, we've made good progress in the realm of our personal wounds and trauma. Of course, there's probably still more there to heal. But I invite you to consider expanding your awareness further back to these deeper cultural and ancestral wounds. And for us as women, particularly the witch wound, and how can we heal that to shift it for future generations of women so that they don't need to be carrying it anymore, and so that we don't even need to be carrying it on this planet anymore. So this is about doing the inner work of releasing the shame, the fear, the self-doubt, the survival struggles at the root of this. In IFS, this is called an unburdening. So healing and unburdening in IFS are synonymous. And IFS is the acronym for internal family systems, the evidence-based, cutting-edge psychotherapeutic model that I practice in and am certified in and incorporate into all of my work. And in IFS, we can do personal unburdenings. And again, that's for unresolved wounds that we carry back from the time of birth or even in utero. Collective wounds, for instance, around the patriarchy, and ancestral wounds, which are related also to the patriarchy and to the witch wound. So we need to do that healing, and then also to continually do the work, and ideally each day. And my recommendation is as part of our kind of morning practice, and it can even be just 15 minutes a day, doing work to rewire our wealth consciousness, to really understand what wealth is. Again, the root of wealth is well-being. That wealth is well-being, and to be wealthy is part of our divine inheritance. We can't actually fulfill our true potential without financial resources. And you know that if you don't have the financial resources you need to take care of your health in the way that you want, or to have opportunities that will help you to grow and evolve, whether that's travel or education or resources if you're doing business, to invest in your business to help it to grow. We need wealth. We need these financial resources to fulfill our full potential. And we need to learn these kinds of nuts and bolts practices around managing our money, budgeting our money, growing our money, being good stewards of our money, and with our businesses. We also need to create a field of safety inside of us with our inner selves so that they feel deeply held by us. And IFS is called self-leadership. So that we don't have scared parts of us or doubting parts of us taking over, but that those parts feel really held and supported by us, just like scared children would feel held and supported by an attuned parent. So they feel safe as we are authentic and share our gifts. And this takes time. This level of healing takes time. So this isn't a quick fix. This is not, there's no magic pill, but I would say the magic pill is really your presence and your care and your willingness. And I can say that because I've been doing this work for years, and I feel the shift in profound ways. And I know that combining these things in this way really does work and really is powerful. And then from that field of more inner safety and kind of rewiring our wealth consciousness and uprooting those ancient wounds through unburdening, then we can put aligned outer structures in place that support us in sharing our work sustainably and being well paid for it. And again, this doesn't happen overnight. We need to be patient. We need to be systematic. We need to be supported, putting in systems and structures and a business model that can truly be successful, where you're not working yourself into the ground with too little to show for it. And we need to be in community with other women. That's not about competition. It's not about tearing each other down. It's not about stabbing each other in the back, but it's genuinely about uplifting each other, supporting each other, inspiring each other, and remembering that the saying that a rising tide lifts all ships. So being community where it's about seeing another woman shine gives us more permission to do that. It inspires us to do that. We see, oh, it's possible. Look, she's doing that. Gives us a validation. And the more that we're doing that, the more of us will start to feel safe doing that. So again, the safety and the stability comes from the inner and outer work done together. So these are all things that we do together inside my 12-month mentorship and mastermind circle called Sorceress CEO, where we are continually braiding this inner and outer work of our own personal healing, our collective healing as women, our wounds around money and business. So we blend IFS, women's spirituality, up-to-date, smart business strategy, and we do all of this within a sacred and safe women's community. And this is the only internal family systems mastermind for coaches, therapists, healing professionals, creatives. Applications are open for our July circle, and there is an early bird discount of $1,000 off your tuition when you apply by June 27th. The sorceress is a powerful female healer. Okay, she's exactly the kind of female healer that we're talking about here. She's a conduit between heaven and earth. She's a balance of masculine and feminine. She's a master of her inner and outer worlds. And a CEO is a grounded, earthly leader for modern times who's in command of her finances, in command of her work in the world, and has a clear vision that she is bringing into form. So it's time to heal the witch wound by bringing all of these dimensions of ourselves into wholeness and connection in service of serving the whole. It's in service of reclaiming our brilliance, reclaiming full abundance, reclaiming inner and outer fulfillment. So if this is the kind of community and experience that you'd like to be a part of, to put an end to your struggles as a healer or a spiritual woman sharing her work in the world, or if you're already at work doing that and you want to go to the next level, whatever that looks like for you, maybe you feel plateaued and haven't been able to get out of the level that you're at, I encourage you to learn more about Sorceress CEO and apply to join us. This is a totally unique program created from the best that I've learned and come across in my 25 years in business, also as a healer and a spiritual teacher and practitioner. You can learn more and apply at sorceressceo.com. That is sorceressceo.com. And remember, the early bird discount of $1,000 off your tuition ends on June 27th. So here's to the full healing of the witch wound and to women everywhere feeling safe and supported and shining our light, sharing our full gifts, and being very well compensated for it. Thank you for joining me today. And remember, change doesn't come from listening alone. I invite you to commit to taking one small or large courageous action after today's conversation. One step you can take if you haven't already is to sign up for my Sunday journal. It's a weekly newsletter filled with inspiration and reflections about the intersection between spiritual entrepreneurship and fulfilling your potential to help you become the woman you truly are in every area of your life. You can subscribe at programs-sarahavonstover.com/journal. And if you found this podcast valuable, please share it with the women in your world. Also, I'd be very grateful if you'd leave a review. It helps others find resources like this, and I'd love to hear what's coming alive for you after listening today. Above all, keep going, and never forget the unique offerings you and your true self bring to the world. Until next time, I'm sending you my heartfelt support.